It is. I told her to check it earlier.
It's recording, but it's just not going on, so.
Then
have
you
to
just
post it.
upload it later. That's probably the only thing you can do. Okay, Neil, go ahead. Sorry.
Thank you. So basically, we reached a stalemate where we had to come back to the city council to determine whether or not the city council wanted to continue to press for the 4% or whether it was agreeable to the 3%. And we advised Greenbrier of that fact, and Greenbrier specifically asked to address the council on its on the basis of its 3% offer. So that's why we're here in open session. We started, as I said, at 10%. We came down all the way to 4%. They started at 2%, and they've come up 1%. And you know, we are recommending to the council that the council reject the offer, simply because at 3%, that puts you in a position that is below every other city out there that has a percentage fee on the business's gross receipts. Most of them are at or around 5 or 6%. Coalinga is at 10%. And various cities out there are anywhere in between that neighborhood, but very few of them are below or at even 5%. Most seem to be around 6%.
Yeah.
The only one that is at 4% in our immediate area would be the city of Fresno. And so we were willing to come down to the level that they're at. But we couldn't, the council at the time did not want to go below that. So Greenbrier is, I assume, here to address this.
I don't know.
The matter,
Are they here?
the
Sonia?
matter is suitable.
Okay. Okay, so they're not present, so then you can continue with what you're going to present to the council and the public.
They said they didn't want to have this, to address this today.
They didn't want it publicly, but I think that public is entitled to know what's,
They didn't want to only address the percentage. They
well,
said
that's what's being negotiated on our, based on our
they said they
contract.
wanted to address more the
Well,
percentage that.
Neil, can you address that?
Well, essentially what occurred is we negotiated over a number of items in the course of our approximately 2-month negotiation. And at a point where they made an offer that was a split percentage, 2% for everything other than the dispensary and 3% for the dispensary, which we felt was an incentive for them to move that product over to a different operation and avoid the higher percentage amount, which we couldn't agree to. We provided, we went and met with them on February 13th, which is when they made their 3% offer. And we told them specifically that we didn't have authority to accept that and that it would have to come back to council. And they requested specifically the opportunity, as I pointed out in the staff report, to come back and address this with the city council. So that's what we have done, and I provided Mark Garcia with a copy of the staff report that you have before you, which I had prepared back on, I believe, February 20th or thereabouts. And I provided him with a copy of that report, so he was well aware of what's going on and why it's there. And it states specifically in the report that they asked us to put this in open session so they could address the council, and he hasn't disputed that with me in the many conversations I've had with him. So, as a abstract matter, the matter would be suitable for consideration in closed session as a item of potential litigation, because when they made the split percentage offer, we served a notice of default, and so there is a potential, albeit hopefully slight, that this all could result in some litigation. So I would suggest, since they're not here, it's entirely up to the council with
I want to share.
It wants to proceed.
I actually want to share the amounts that we received, because the public needs to know what we received from Greenbrier these past years. So, Ally, can you put on the screen the revenues that the city of Parlier? Oh, okay. I think it would have been better on the screen, but
Oh, well, I kind of did this last minute, and but I can get copies to everybody. I didn't expect so many people.
I can just tell you what they paid.
yeah, but I
if you
think
like.
yeah. Go ahead and the people that want a copy.
I'll make more copies. Let me pass it around.
I think it's important for our community to know, because the sole purpose of us having Greenbrier even coming in 2017 was to help sustain our police department, which was a $1.5 million budget back then. And when we brought Greenbrier in, it was to make sure that the doors would not close for the police department. We are currently at a $3 million budget for the police department. So this is why it's important to negotiate now to make sure that we don't face that in the future, where the possibilities of closing the doors again, because that can happen. With inflation and everything going up, the cost of salaries for officers is going to go up tremendously. Right now we're at 3 million. So in 2 years, you might see a budget of 5 million for this town. Our general fund is only 5 million. So there's no way we could sustain them. So this is why it's very critical and important for us to negotiate and look out for the best interests of the city, because if not, then in the future you might see a tax on the people, and we don't want to tax our community. If the revenue is there for us to no.
That fee that you're talking about is attached to the purchase.
Well, let me tell you, if Lemoore is getting over 1 million and they're doing fine and they still have customers, and if we are only going to get 400,000, what's the purpose? So we would rather lose our police department because the consumer doesn't want to pay on taxes? We were about to lose the police department. These are the facts. This is why we were facing that. So,
Well, if I may, Mayor, in their first full year of operation, the contract did not require any payment. Their revenues were $8,097,000 and change. In the second year of operation, the payment to us was capped at $150,000. Their revenues in that year were $7,505,000 and change. And they did pay the $150,000 at which it was capped for that year. And then in the final year that we're dealing with, their revenues jumped to 15,473,000 and change. And that yielded a payment to us of 309,000 and change in 2022.
Can you also share what other cities are receiving? And I think she has the numbers there too. Ellie?
Yeah, I'm sorry?
On the information you received from Coalinga and from Lemoore? Can you share the numbers that was received from, for their budget?
Yes. Okay, so, I'm not sure what Neil, covered, but I'll just.
Covered the
try to
revenues of Greenbrier from every year. That was where he left off.
Okay. Yeah, so everybody probably has one of these papers by now. As if you look to the total sales, I spoke to Coalinga and Lemoore, and they give me their numbers because the audit is not done yet, so I had to work with them to get the numbers for 21, 22. But you see, I compared the last 3 years in Lemoore, and the revenue received was for 3 years, 2 million. As you can see in 2022, they got 1.1 million. Once again, look at the total column here. City of Coalinga, the last 3 years, altogether was $9 million sales, and they got 3 million. Now here's Parlier. Again, it's the last 3 years. The first year, there was, I guess, a deal that we wouldn't charge them. And so that first year we didn't get anything. And like Neil explained, the second year got 150 and 309. Take a look at the sales, 31 million, and all we got is 459,000. So this is why the percentage needs to go. And in my advice, it should be at 7%. We should be getting $1 million, just like all the other cities.
And just to mention, I know that actually in Orange Cove, they're working over a contract as well as 5%. So if we stay at 2 and 3%, we will be the lowest from this area. You know, and they're making the most than any other cannabis company. And of course, they're going to want to make sure that they keep that sweet deal. The purpose of the deal that was given to them at the beginning was because we did not know what to expect with that business, because it has never been a previous business before. It had been passed by the voters, and that is when they started to open up dispensaries. That's why you're starting to see more dispensaries now. But in the past, no one knew what to expect of that business. You know, so of course it was a 5-year contract, and then we were going to renegotiate the percentage, because we knew by then in 5 years you will know exactly what to expect, how they're doing, if they're able to afford an increase or not. And which by the numbers are not, they don't lie. They're there for you to see in black and white that they're able to afford an increase. They opened 3 new stores, but yet they can't increase our percentage. Why? Because it's all about what they can come up with instead of taking care of a mutual agreement and working in good faith and having a partnership. It's all about, we want this, we want to become the billionaires, but you guys will give you whatever we can and whatever we think you're able to accept. And to me, if we don't look at the revenue that the city of Parlier should receive, we won't be able to afford the police department. We will not. And I know that there's that question about it goes to the consumers. Well, it goes to the consumers everywhere else. They're getting 10% everywhere else. So Parlier should be the one to accept the lowest, because we are not going to reach for the stars. Because why? Because we're Parlier and we can't go for that. I don't understand why everyone else is thinking about bettering their community, but yet we're going to settle. And that's why, this is why it's an open session, because it was requested by Greenbrier later that they didn't want to do this in open session. And I said, no, transparency is you're going to discuss this so the community will know exactly what we're dealing with. There is no behind the closed doors deals with them. In the beginning, when we had our first negotiations back in 2017, it was our staff who negotiated that. This time around, I got involved with Neil, with Sonia. Sabrina was there at one of them. So that way we can make sure what we were hearing, what was going to be presented to this council. Because if you don't get involved and be part of the negotiations, then you're not going to know exactly what's coming your way. Just like the way we weren't really sure what we were getting in 2017. Now it's not going to be the same. They're billionaires.
Mayor, may I add something?
Ali, I had a question for you, Ali. On the numbers, does this add all the donations that they give to the city of Port
That's
Aire?
part of their agreement.
It's in the contract?
Yes. And
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
okay,
This was directed to Ali.
let me just say this. Let me just say this. Point of order. Point of order. Point of order. Point of order. And the point of order is that I have the floor right now. You will have your time. Point of order. Because it's called point of order. Point of order means I have the floor because I run this meeting. Yes, I run the meeting. I'm the chair here and the mayor. I run the meeting. So, and that's when I give you the floor later. You just want to argue. And if you're not going to be looking out for the best interest of the city, then that's your opinion. You don't care about the numbers. But let me say this. Every cannabis company out there that's in the cities always give back to their communities. Parlier is not the unique one. This is part of every agreement. And I know this because I've contacted several cities. Woodlake, I contacted him last Thursday. I talked to the mayor there. Farmersville, the same thing. Lemoore, same thing. Coalinga, same thing. So why are we going to settle for the bare minimum? Because why? They're somebody's friend? No.
I just want to hear what the rest of the council.
Well, let me get to that point.
Wait for them to talk. Let her finish.
Point of order.
And talking.
Point.
We ordered her to be there.
She's the mayor.
She's the mayor. Mayor, she's not a queen, okay?
We're not talking about queen, we're talking about mayor.
Yeah.
Relax, guys.
No, this is your people. You're the one yelling.
Can we have the
You just
speaking among each
brought out.
other stopped? We're trying to conduct a meeting.
Okay,
If you have
Humberto.
something to say, wait until you get your turn and
you
walk
can,
up to the
if
podium.
you don't want to wait your turn, you don't want to wait your turn? Okay, wait.
Hear what they want to say, Mayor.
Okay. Well, wait your turn. But I wanted to clarify the fact that donations of $2,000 here and there is not going to help the police department. Okay? The percentage is what's going to help our police department. And if you guys don't care about saving and making sure that they are sustainable, then might as well start them looking for another job because that's what we're facing. They're at $3 million budget. This town does not receive enough revenue for that. So we have to invest in them. And the only way you're going to do it is with these businesses that have the revenue to be able to pay for it. You're not going to want us to tax you guys again. Because that's what everybody else does. The purpose of cannabis company coming here was to avoid that. So that is why we're here. And that's why I made sure it was an open meeting, not closed.
But I want to hear what they want to say.
Okay, but that was the question that I wanted to clarify on the floor. Go ahead.
Can I answer the council member? The donation money, which is only.
She hasn't finished. Let her finish. Let her open the floor.
Well, okay, so then.
First city council meeting, I wanted to see my council people out there that we voted for, and this is embarrassing. Embarrassing.
It's sad.
It's sad because they're with their hands like this, laughing, talking to, I don't see this as a city council. This is very unprofessional, honestly. I thought because the mayor's there because we voted for her. You guys are there because we voted for you. So I expect.
And again, she lets you guys talk, and I was just asking one question.
And
It was one question.
let her
It was
answer
one
it. She's
question.
gonna answer it. Allie's gonna
I
answer
understand, but you took away the floor from me.
I apologize.
Exact-
That was me. I
You took away the floor from me.
Okay,
Exactly.
can you go ahead and answer that, Ellie?
Yes.
Thank you.
In order to be able to compare, I only stuck with revenue raising fees, right? And that's what I compared to, but it doesn't include the $15,000 they give us. However, Colinga has other fees that are not part of that either. They have annual permit renewal fees. They have regulatory licensing fees, which add up to like 100,000 or more. So, you know, you need to be able to compare apples to apples. You can't stick those numbers in there. But all the other cities have other fees on top of our fees. So we are the lowest.
From the valley.
If I may, I think the answer to your question is simply this. When we entered the contract, they were required to give us certain things. They gave us the signs that you see out here and
Manny?
on Manning. They purchased a police vehicle. They purchased various other things, a Christmas tree and things like that. Those were negotiated outside the agreement, the police car, the Christmas tree, those things. The signs were specifically in the agreement. Those things, since they're now done, are no longer in the agreement, and they're not something that you're going to receive in the future. You will receive in the future, I believe it's $15,000 per year, payable in or about December of each year. And that is that's a specific amendment to the agreement. But outside of that, the only thing they pay are the revenue raising fees going forward.
So can I speak or no? No, I just want to ask. So again, just to our public, you know, I was elected by the public to be up here, and it's sad that people try to make us look like we don't care about our city. Once again, it was just one question I asked, and it was directed to Ali, and I got the public involved, and Neil answered it perfectly. That's just one question I asked, and this is what we get. And exactly. And that's a question that was for you guys. That was a question for you guys.
Right.
Just so that you understand that we are up here for you guys. That's what we're here for. And that was a question for her. What was that?
Hopefully you guys go for the 7%.
We're not getting 7%. That's not what it is.
Then 2%. Anything better than 2%.
And again, you guys don't know what we're even negotiating, right? You guys want to know exactly, and we want to know just like you guys. I don't even have the contract that she's talking about, and I've been here for 2 months. Isn't that something? Isn't that
The public asked for it. They have it. Did you guys
want to
get
let the public know
contract?
that we are here for the city of Parlier.
It's up to us if we want to get the agreement or not. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm same with Diego. I've been here for a little over 2 months. We have talked about Greenbriers. My understanding, there's things that we cannot talk in public because those are regulations and stuff, things that we can't do, like in closed sessions and stuff. We cannot talk about it. Not that we want to keep anything from the public, because you guys, this is why we're here. This is why we got voted, for the residents, for the taxpayers, to make sure that our decisions are the right decisions, not for us. Even though we're taxpayers, it's for the public, for our citizens. The negotiations that were being done, the meetings, we were not there. We were not there. So we haven't even been able to vote on this or talk about whatever got changed. We had an informal meeting, which was only 2 council members, because we were new, with Neil, with Sonia, talked about Greenbrier. Whatever was discussed there, we have not shared it because it's not even on the contract. So I feel like we're jumping the gun here and saying, this is what they're giving us, this is what they're doing, this is what we're going to decide, because we haven't even got to that point. So
Well,
I mean, like, really?
The negotiations started before you got elected. But they didn't want to negotiate. They wanted to wait for the new council, they said. And that was something that they told me directly when we were in a meeting with Trino, myself, Neil, Sonia, and I don't know if you were there, Ali, when they said that they wanted to wait for the new council. And we're like, this is a sitting council that's here right now. You negotiate now in good faith. They kept pushing it and waiting until here we are now, still trying to negotiate this because they wanted to wait. They got their wish because they delayed. So to me, it's like, it's not very hard to figure out. If you see the numbers, you see the numbers. And if we're not going to be negotiating good faith with the city, then who are we going to look out for? Greenbrier or the city of Parlier?
The city, of course, the city is who we're gonna go for, because we need our police department. We work with our police department. Yes, we do. Going back to postponing, I don't know about that because I wasn't.
You
on
weren't
the
there,
board.
but that's what
Got
the Mark
elected-
said.
Excuse me. We got elected on voting was November the 8th. We were sworn in till January the 4th. And a lot of questions were asked, why did you wait so long? We didn't. The prior council waited till the last day.
Greenbrier.
No.
No. for
Yes,
swearing
let me
in.
tell you what he did.
Did not swear.
Well, Greenbrier, as soon as you guys got sworn in, text Sonia and said, we're ready to negotiate now.
It
Why?
doesn't matter what Greenbrier says because
Well,
we have not been in
they don't want to meet
negotiation.
with us. If they don't want to meet with us, then we can't force them to meet with us.
But they
That
meet
is
with
why
us.
they have the letter of default. That is why the letter of default was sent to them, because they refused to negotiate with the sitting council that was here prior to you guys. They wanted to wait for you guys.
But they have not negotiated with us,
They-
with the new
but
council.
they didn't need to, is what I'm trying to say.
No, but you're supposed
They,
to bring it to
they-
us.
no, they were not even supposed to bring it to you.
No, they didn't
Because
bring it
it
to
was
us.
supposed to be negotiated with the last council, because that's when it had expired.
Yeah, but
And they didn't want to do it then. They wanted to do it now. Why now?
But Greenbrier has not negotiated with us. We have not talked to
Well,
them.
they-
It was
they
Neil
pushed
is
for
the
it.
one that talked to us, to me and Diego, about Greenbrier. Neil did. We talked about what they wanted. We said, okay, tell us what they want. We not negotiated. They had a meeting. Yes, they did. Sabrina, you, Neil, and I don't know who else was there. Not us.
I'm
So
just
we're
saying
still
what they
waiting-
did. That's why they
We're
have.
still waiting for what they want us to approve. We haven't.
That
even
is
gotten
why
that
they
far.
received the letter of default from the last council, because they were not willing to work with us in good faith before the end of the year. They didn't want to do it. They wanted to wait until the next council. Okay. Go ahead.
They have
Oh,
somebody.
I think he's up there. So.
Hey there.
Wait for him.
Go?
Go ahead. Yes.
Okay. Hey, my name is Raul Gawana. I live at 8544 South de la Cruz. First, I like your stand that you're sticking up. You want the best for Parlier. That's awesome. But I know that people from Hanford have come to this cannabis location and everywhere. Now, I don't know if it's the product or if it's the fees, okay? There's going to be more cannabis distribution centers or dispensaries in Fresno as years goes along too. So just keep in mind that you want to keep the crowd coming to Parlier to be very competitive so that when more dispensaries goes up and they're paying more, you want to have that knowledge of saying, we're going to get more because it's cheaper here for them. It's going to be less of a tax on them or us, right? And then when you renegotiate, I know people were saying that we don't know what the other cities are negotiating. You as our lawyer, the city's lawyer, are you able to see that what different types of contracts are already out there? That way you are comparing apples to apples, oranges to oranges, because you were saying that they have other fees. And if we weren't getting those fees, hey, let's get them, But at the same time, you want to keep the fees low so that people keep coming here and not anywhere else.
Well, just to go off of what you're saying, that
Thank you.
about the centralized and how everybody's coming here. That is why. Because we're centralized by all the other cities that do not have a cannabis. So Fresno has several dispensaries right now. And I spoke, yes, different ones. There's Cookies, and I don't know what the other ones are, but yes. And I spoke to the actual part owner to the Cookies company, and they're all doing the same thing, what we're asking for. They're paying that to Fresno. They're paying a higher percentage and giving back to the community. That's part of their agreement. And people still go to Fresno. And we can't, this is why I say we cannot just settle because we don't know what may happen. This is why I even talked to the owner of the of Greenbrier and said, then let's do year to year. They didn't want that. They want to lock us in. And we're not going to be locked in for 5 years and stuck with 3%, 2%, while others are probably 6, 7, 8%, and we're still settling. That's why it's not a good deal. And we're locked in with them for 25 years.
Can you get competitive stores?
We have. I researched it. They have 3 new stores. So if they, but they have 3 new stores they opened up. Obviously, they have the money. They're just not willing to spend it on Parlier. And this is what I talked, and then I'll let you. This is why I talked to the owner and I said, you guys opened up 3 new stores. I did my research. You opened up 3 new stores. He was trying to tell me, well, they gave me the building. Who gives property away? Nobody gives property away, especially right now. I looked up the property for cannabis buildings in San Bernardino. It was what was it? I can't remember what billion. It was like 11 million they sold for. So no one's going to give that property away when you can sell it, because it goes with the property, the licensing too. So you're not going to sell it or give it away. You're going to make profit off that building. And they sold it for 11 million. So no, I'm not going to be fooled. Okay? And they think that I will be fooled. And I do, when they tell me one thing, I'm already researching it, because that's the way you're going to find out the actual truth. And you have to be informed in order for you to negotiate. You can't just negotiate thinking that they're going to tell you the honest truth, because that's not how it works. I know that. Go ahead.
Okay, and I know you were saying about the different stores and stuff.
If in case they leave, do you have any other companies that can come in, or maybe communicate with other companies to come in to compete with this?
There's so many, just before I'll let you. There's so many that do want to come here, even when they first heard that Greenbrier was coming. They're already knocking at Sonia's, calling her that they wanted to open another cannabis, but we only had that one. We're centralized. When you're centralized, everybody wants to be here because you're around cities that do not want to have cannabis. Kingsbury's not going to want cannabis. Reedley, I know for sure, doesn't want cannabis. Sanger doesn't want it. Selma doesn't have it. Fowler for sure won't have it. So we're centralized. We're in a prime location. So that's why we have to make sure that we do negotiate in a way that we're going to get what we should get and not just settle. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Janie. Go ahead.
No, it's fine. Yeah, and the city is in plans to open a new cannabis with a different company, right?
It's a smaller one. Yeah.
And how much is their percentage?
4%.
And what is their cap?
They're only 10,000 square feet. These are 40 acres.
That's not the question.
But
how
it
much
is
is their
because
cap?
you gotta look. I don't know the numbers. What's in a?
There are other fees on that contract as well. They have to pay $100,000 a year if they grow
But they're gonna grow indoors, right?
Right.
indoors.
That-
They have to pay, I believe it's
Again, only
$50,000.
4%.
And it's 10,000 square feet.
Because if we haven't, they haven't even built, is that contract already done? Has the city?
They are
prior-
able to still activate that contract.
Because, I
They
mean,
have not pursued it though, for whatever reason.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If us as city council, since we're new, we know that this new one's coming in, then we have to be a step ahead of it, because we don't want to come back to this again Because whatever, all this contract and all this stuff was done prior to us coming on board. So right now, we're trying to work with whatever was done before we
That's
got
when you
here.
negotiate.
But since we have another one coming,
Well, and that's
Yeah, on top of
there's a
that
big
one.
question mark there as to whether or not they're actually coming. The state of California has made it very difficult to engage in this business. They recently reduced their exorbitant tax on these companies. I don't know the precise number to which they've reduced it, but I understand they basically cut it in half, which is a good thing. They licensed far too many people to cultivate marijuana, so that, and you can't grow this and ship it across state lines as you would, almonds or something like that. So you now have a glut of marijuana in California, which brings the price down. The state just doesn't understand the laws of supply and demand. So you're seeing out there a situation where the smaller operators are forced to close down, but the big operators are moving in and taking over their stakes.
okay. So like you were saying about charging all those other items that Ally was saying, maybe to Greenbrier, like I said again, we're not in the negotiations. We are only,
Well,
you guys are bringing us
we-
whatever whoever the council that's in the negotiations, you're bringing us the information for us to vote on it. So it's hard for us to say, well, don't do this and don't do that, because we're not in the negotiations. You guys are. And I said you, the mayor.
Okay. It's
Sabrina,
like any negotiation.
We have, if I
to bring it
Go
back
ahead.
to us and we'll vote on it.
we have a contract already that sets the revenue raising fees. And the only thing that we were negotiating is this
Percentage.
percentage, because there's a specific provision in the contract that allows us to renegotiate that percentage. That's the reason we started the whole negotiation.
Has that expired?
In the course of the negotiation, they threw out there a number of other items that they wanted to negotiate, and we attempted to negotiate those things with them. We couldn't come to an agreement that the council that was here before you would buy into. So we, and they felt that the Greenbrier folks were not conducting themselves in good faith, simply because they're making proposals that make it more easy for them to avoid a higher percentage payment than they would otherwise incur.
Yes. And I understand that, Neil, but what I'm saying is, we know we're talking about the percentage, what we're
Right.
gonna get, what the city's gonna get. That's gonna go to our police department, the majority of it. But what I'm saying is, that negotiation hasn't even come to us as city council.
Janie, let me explain a little bit on negotiations, because when you should know this, when when you're in negotiations and you're and even in a union, the people that negotiate first. They negotiate, and then later they bring it to the members. So this is why it's coming before you now, because this is what he's recommending, to reject that percentage. So yes, you're not going to hear it beforehand because it was in the process of negotiations. They wanted to go with the 3%. Neil's recommending that it gets rejected so that we reject this proposed percentage. That's why it's here before us. But you're not going to hear it beforehand because it was in negotiations at that time.
Yes,
So, but
should
that's
we
how
as
it works.
council hear the negotiations before,
You can't all be there part.
like. yeah,
Well,
we
the
could
reason
have-
why is, okay, I get what you're saying about you wanted to hear before and not the public. Well, no, I wanted it in public. Why? Because I think it's important for them to know what's going on and not do it behind closed doors, because this affects our community.
I do not have a problem with that. I feel that everybody in the city should know what's going on, not only with Greenbrier, but with all our budgets, with all the budgets from all our departments.
does go.
With all the funds that come into our city that leave through our city doors. in how they're being used, how they're being utilized, because that's why we want to do these committees and bring you guys into our committees to be able to voice your opinion of how our city funds should be utilized in our city, which is your city.
And
what
that's
we
called a
want.
workshop.
And not just with Greenbrier, but with everything that's through our city. That is your right as citizens to know where your tax dollars are going.
And it does get done every year. The problem is that you never participated before you got elected. We had workshops for budget workshops every year. We have the budget that's reviewed by council and the public that wants to participate. We have our annual audits that are supposed to be done every year, except for this year. There's a lack of auditors in the county of Fresno and actually Central Valley because there's not enough auditors that go out there and audit the municipalities. And this I know because they've had the discussion at the Fresno COG. All cities are facing that. So, but these things are in the public. The problem is that you probably didn't know that, but it is there and it's been done every year.
Our audits have been done for many years with the same auditor. Right, Ally?
And guess what? A
Yes.
lot of cities are using the same auditor right now because there's a lack of auditors right now.
I suggest you call Sampson and Price Page, and they'll tell you how
Same
overwhelmed
thing.
they are. Yes, we've used Price Page in the past, and Ryan Jolly. They're
Doing our audit this year.
Ryan Jolly, and he's in the process, and they're gonna finish by March.
by
So,
March.
but the daycare is already
again,
done. The audits for the
When,
daycares are.
when there's a lack of understanding and knowing about what's going on with the auditors, with being that this is Fresno County has that problem, then you're gonna speculate that it's not being done. But if it's not being done, it's not because they don't wanna do it, it's because they have multiple cities to audit, and we're on that list to be next. Every city is dealing with this, and I told you again, they talked about this in Fresno COG, because all the mayors were talking about it. There's video out there, if you want me to bring it to you so you can see it, where that discussion was being talked about, the audits. We can bring it here so you can see that every city's having that problem.
Okay, I only have one more thing to say. We are having a study workshop on Monday.
Okay,
It is
can you
good.
do it on the,
We're having a study workshop on Monday. We will let you guys know what time.
Jamie,
This will be going,
can you do it right here in this?
I'm just really fast, and that's it. And I welcome you guys, all the public, to come.
Okay,
It's gonna be here. And
Okay.
we're gonna be going over our city budget.
How are you gonna let us know if today's Thursday and it's Monday? How are you gonna let us know the day?
Probably in
okay. I gotta stay on what's on the agenda, so,
But I'll let you guys know that we are looking into all the budgets individually. We're looking into one. We're looking individually. We're really doing it for your guys' tax dollars, not for us and not because we're nosy. Okay? We're doing it for you guys. And if there's anything in question, we'll let you guys know. That's it.
go ahead.
Real simple.
Well, Mayor, I agree 100% that we don't need to settle this, and I think the staff is already recommending not to settle, and that include, I imagine, that all that city council members, because they're not even aware of what's going on. So my recommendation is the same recommendation that as a public and citizen of this community, I'm recommending that we reject the proposal and start negotiating the proposal, but let's be more open. I never knew that we give away 1 year for them to start. I never knew that they were giving us bribes, because you call those bribes, Mayor, and I told you, when they were giving money for this and money for that and money for that, because we don't know where the money is used. You know, so that's the problem that we got. So now we're fighting one against each other, you know, when we're supposed to be united and trying to fix the problems. I appreciate that this is one of the first times that I see a lot of public involved. You know, a lot of public. And that's the reason that I say my comments from the beginning. I was so happy to see that finally, you know, we are waking up and we're really trying to understand what's going on in the community. But we need to be more open. It's like the workshop that we are going to have. You know, I don't know what time. You know, sometimes there's at 3 o'clock. There's no people at 3 o'clock. You know, you guys haven't made any announcement or anything. My recommendation, once again, is that you guys should put not the committees or committees, whatever you want to call it. But
Can
it
we-
will be a
can we stay
committee
on
that
the
is gonna be-
Greenbrier?
that is gonna be dealing with each individual item that you guys want to discuss.
We need to stay on what's on the
Oh,
agenda.
that's all.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
just
I think there's
recommending-
somebody behind you that
I'm
wants
just
to talk.
recommending that we should establish like all the other park and recreations.
Okay,
you
now
know,
we're
and
getting
all
off
those-
topic.
and all those-
We're getting off topic.
no,
We need
no,
to
it's the
stay
same
with,
top-
no, it's not.
Is the
There's a
same
j-
topic because
There's
she's
there's one that's right behind.
Let me finish, please, and then I'm done. She's recommending to have committees, and I'm
That's not on the
encouraged-
agenda, though.
You know, it's just a recommendation. You don't have to
That's
do
not-
this.
yes, it
You don't
has
have
to
to
be
do
in the-
this
that's-
now.
oh my
Let's
gosh.
follow the recommendation and hear
Okay,
her.
thank you. Now
Okay.
she's next. Thank you.
Hi, good evening. My name is Sandra Alvarez. I'm coming to talk because
your address, please?
You don't have to state.
Thank you. So I'm coming because once
It's not
I
public
was being proactive, I want every citizen and resident to know that you do have the capability of asking for the agenda minutes or the agenda for the next week's meeting prior to the meeting. They are able to provide that to you 72 hours prior. I did my due diligence and I researched it, and I was provided the information to let you guys all know that as a resident of the community, you do have access. In addition to that, I also went and did my due diligence and researched a little bit because once I got the contract, I did see that Greenbrier was proposing a 3%. So I went and I researched more. I researched communities around Central Valley, Kalinga being one, Lemoore being another one, and Fresno being another one. With that, again, I went to their city websites and I was able to get the information. It is public record. Everybody does have access to this information. Kalinga does show that they do and require a 10% of gross receipts. In addition to that, not only do they get the 10% gross receipts, but they have many, many fees that they charge their cannabis companies. So again, public record, you can go to any of these towns and get the information. In addition to that, I also went to Lemoore. Lemoore has all of their information, again, public record. They do charge 5% of gross sales, and this is just on their dispensaries alone. This isn't any grows or any other warehouse productions. In addition to that, looking at the contract that Parlier has with Greenbrier companies, they are getting a mass reduction in regards to their square footage. Parlier is very under. If I looked at Lemoore, they were getting $15 per square footage with a minimum of 3,000 square feet. If you look at Parlier's highest is $10, and they were doing 5,000 square feet. So they get an additional 2,000 square feet versus other communities. In addition to that, it goes from 10, which is the highest, down to $2 per square foot within Parlier. So again, I just want to inform you guys that the information is public record. If you go to any city, any town, they have the information on record. In Parlier, what I did is I just contacted I went and I contacted, again, at this point, it was the assistant city manager, and I was able to obtain the information, again, because it is public record. So if you go to Parlier, they do have some initial information that was negotiated. But the only thing within the contract that is continual negotiation is the percentage. Everything else is not negotiable. Okay, thank you very much.
evening, Mayor, Council, neighbors. I'm wondering who's the one that allowed the city of Parlier to get bamboozled? Who allowed it? And I'm wondering, is 10% enough? A lot of these contracts we're talking about, these 10%, these were signed, what, 3 years ago, 5 years ago? I think we should look to the state of Colorado. They've been in this game for a lot more years than California has. So let's probably try and find a city or someone like the Central Valley that has the population. Let's look at those numbers. What are they charging? Because by the time we do 10%, someone else is probably what, 15? I don't know, 12. But let's not allow ourselves to be cheated again. Once was enough. I forgive you, whoever you are, who allowed us to get bamboozled. But yeah, let's do some research. And Colorado, maybe, like I said, they've been in the game longer than we have. So maybe 10% is not enough.
Yeah, I agree.
Thank you. Good night.
And at the beginning, thank you for making it clear about not allowing that to happen again, because at that time in 2017, with our last city attorney and the staff that were negotiating then, is what they presented to the council at that time. This is why I'm saying it's best for us to get involved and know what we're dealing with. And this is why I said we need to have it in open session, so that way the community sees exactly what's being brought to us. Because you guys have the right to know what's going on. So, go ahead.
I just have 2 questions real quick, and I don't want to go to the podium. We can't hear you. Sonia, a question, and I'm just kind of curious. You said there was an additional, they want an addition. They didn't tell me that they had other things they wanted to negotiate. I think
Yes.
that has to be settled before any discussion. Second, to Neil, if those items were not part of the contract, isn't that making them breach of contract? If those items that they want to discuss or negotiate, if they're not part of the contract, and I see you smiling and you know it's true. Exactly. So if it's not on there, this makes everything void and you can go with anything you want. That's all I have to say. That's right.
Thank you. Thank you for understanding that. Did you want to ask? Go ahead.
Sonia, you gonna answer?
What's on? This is a wolf man.
Neil, why don't you answer that question?
After he's going to ask a question, then after that.
Anyway, I just, my name is John Montaño, Juan Manuel Montaño. I live at 500 Progreso Drive. I know somebody said something about years back wanting to get rid of the PD. I was part of that council. We never wanted to get rid of the PD. I was one of the groups that brought Measure Q to the city of Parlier, all right? We got it passed, an assessment, all that. I was part of that. But I've been listening to everybody have a discussion, and very uppity discussion. And the council, they need to find ways to bring a little bit more calmness to the conversation. But in all this, I've never, myself, I would have never brought marijuana. This is who I am, all right? I'm back from when we started. And back in the late 60s, we started all this walkout in high school and all this Chicano power, the mesa. We did all that. I was part of that group, all right? But listening to all this, I told you that I don't like marijuana being. I don't like, there's a lot of people out there at certain nights, all right? And they're making a bundle of money. And I'm with a finance director said, the 7%, let's get the million. Now, my thinking is, that lady over here, you guys talk about flooding. Yes, the PD, I already knew that they used $3 million in the budget, and I asked about the city budget. I don't know if the rest of the council knew what the city budget was, but now you probably do know that it's $5 million. That's the incoming money for general fund. So we need the million because we have flooding. She's right. I was working on this on J Street, and I'm going to tell the engineer, there's pipes. I'm not saying it's all there. There's stuff that needs to be done as a council, as a city. We got to sit down, and understand what they're trying to do. And some of them, sometimes they won't understand. It takes an engineer. And there's plumbing that's underneath Manning. When I was here, I was trying to get the ponding basins on Sediker, on the other side, I guess it would be on the south side of Manning. You got ponding basins over there, but there used to be the old sewers. Now, my understanding, the pipes are still there. When I was consul, I was looking into that, and we were going to have to go underneath the Manning Avenue and set up a sub pump to pump the water out that way, because we need to get to the future. What are we going to do? They need to work on stuff that's, what can they accomplish in the next 2 years? What can they accomplish in the next 4 years? And that's what they were elected for. They need to brainstorm, sit up there, and put a puzzle together. That's what they're elected for, to solve problems. And yes, if possible, in a real nice manner if possible. We don't have to like each other, but we do have to work. I mean, how many of us haven't worked with somebody at work and I don't like them, but okay. I mean, I worked in a company that had about 600 employees. They were almost 99% men. And not everybody woke up in the real nice manner that morning. They didn't have their coffee, the wife slapped them, I don't know. But there was constantly a fight sometimes. And you got to understand that. So we need to get along. And that's what we're looking for.
That's right.
We need to think about I don't know if you got to take my idea, Mr. Engineer, look into it. I know I was looking into it with Sean. We had cutbacks and people got mad because we needed these cutbacks. But then Measure Q passed. We brought an assessment back and we got it, $10. I wanted $40, but people only passed the $10 one. Because how much do you pay for an alarm system? An alarm system's gonna go off, but there's not gonna be an officer there to take the vato down, You're gonna have to take him down. Me, I can do it, but I don't know about the rest of the people. But anyway, that's all I'm asking is some of this money can be going to solve some of the problems we have. The flooding, I know on Merced, I've seen that. It's on J Street. A lot of the water's coming off of Manning Avenue now because of the upgrades. But the sewer system is still the same one. And this goes back 30, 40 years ago. It didn't happen yesterday. So I'm just giving you a little bit of stuff that I've always thought about. And we need to look towards the future. We need to get some more properties next to the city of Parlier. We're going to have my understanding, we're behind 1,000 houses, residential housing here. So we need to work on those things. And we need to fight for the right reasons as a group. Get the 69 acres on Sediker Avenue on the other side, on the west side. Because no university can stop a community that's together.
That's right.
Right?
Thank
You
you.
want to vote for me, I
Thank
remember
you.
that. So I always talk like this, but you guys were angry. You guys didn't know. I'm not asking for your vote. I'm not saying I'm 71 years old, and a lot of people know me because I know her dad. I know we got here in 1955 from Texas. So anyway.
Oh yeah.
I'm just giving you some tips and advice. And counsel, thank you for.
Thank you for.
Ask them.
I think she's asking that question for Neil, but thank you for.
But I believe that $1 million, stipulate in the contract that you got a right to renegotiate, look at it every year and bring it up.
And
that's his job.
That's what I think. So. Thank you. I think Neil was going to answer your question.
Neil, can you answer her question?
Can he answer her question real quick? She's asking.
Okay, that's fine.
Oh, what? I think Sonia wants Neil to answer it.
Can you answer the question about what they're wanting to negotiate outside of this percentage?
Yes, I can. Let me find something so I get it right. First of all, they want to eliminate.
Is it mic on?
Yeah.
They want to eliminate the square footage charge, so that the only revenue raising fee you have in there is the percentage charge. Secondly, they want to amend well, let me back up. As part of their contract, they're required to get a regulatory permit as well. In that regulatory permit, we have a security plan that was put in place by our chief of police. That requires them to have 2 security guards at their dispensary. They wanted that reduced to one security guard at the dispensary. And then they wanted the ability to conduct outdoor grows. And they offered to do it only on their academy property and not the industrial park property, but only for the 5-year period of our temporary renegotiation. And then we would revisit that 5 years later. Those are the things that they wanted to negotiate.
So if that wasn't part of the negotiation and original contract, why is there any discussion? This contract is to be void, you and I know that. If it's not part of it.
Well,
You're
that's,
asking for that, and you have a 25 law here with it, this makes it completely void, am I not right?
The thing about it is that they've been allowed to grow before.
The point is this, if they're trying to renegotiate and it's not in the original contract, tell me, you and I know this voids the original 25-year contract.
I don't think it voids it. I think it gives us a basis for doing what we did, which was issue a notice of default and require them to cure the default.
What's the argument? There shouldn't even be.
There's just so much more to it, and it's not easy to
So
understand.
Sonia explained us so much more. The public is here. Exactly.
Mayor, they can't hear her on the.
Okay, so,
No, that's not correct.
That's not the case. It doesn't automatically
Neil.
become void. You've got to take steps to declare.
let me
material
have
breach.
him make whatever, I think you have a comment, so that way you can get up to the podium because of the, okay. It's just so that way people can hear what your questions are. Okay.
Okay, my name is Bernardo Trujillo. You probably know, but I know people here, but they don't know me. First time that I came here. And the first thing that I want to see, it's kind of shame, see all this fighting. And I've been here for 30 years, and I came here to share something else. But I was afraid to step and share what I have in my hand because all the screaming for both sides. I don't have a clue about the company, weed company, whatever. But my question is for everybody. You guys not capable to bring more companies? Not related to weed. You guys have you guys capable to bring more companies? Because look, let me finish. I'm not fighting. I'm not trying to fight with nobody. Because it's my first time that I came here. And that's why I don't want to come here. And I see you guys attack them and both sides. This is not the issue. The issue is to resolve the trouble and make this city bigger.
Exactly.
But having a weed company, well, there's no Costco here, there's no Sam's Club here.
Well,
Offer more. I mean,
it'd be nice to get Costco and Sam's here, but we don't have the population for them to come here.
Yeah, I understand.
And they don't go just because you say, come and they will come,
Business.
We've gone to LA and what was it to
Las Vegas,
to Las Vegas where
ICSC.
all the businesses go, and the first thing they tell us, you're too small, your population is not large enough,
They probably see that
and
small
they
community.
barely come to Selma that's a lot larger than us. They are getting the businesses, but they still struggle too. So Parlier is not going to be able to lure those companies here.
But
It's
the
going to
thing
be
is, if
hard.
you continue to bring more weed companies. That's the issue we have here.
The purpose of bringing them was, again, to sustain the police department.
And I'm the first one they step in, not leaving the police department out. I'm the first one they step in. I'm not let these people going out of business because we don't have money. Well, we figure it out. We'll figure it out. Look,
Then
I'm a
that's where the
business-
taxes come on the property
I
owners.
got
And
respect for them and for you guys.
and
But
you
I
don't
get-
want to tax the people.
Yeah.
I don't feel that it's necessary for us to continue to tax our people. And
Sign a contract with the company. I have a trucking business. And when I say with the guy, I say, you know what, this is what I charge. You don't like it, I'm out of here. Fly. And you know what? Next day they call me for make business. What you're doing perfectly fine. Do not let this company, who run the show? You guys or they?
yeah, that's what I'm saying, because
We run the show, including with you guys, because you guys are leaders. We're the residents.
yeah.
With
Well,
all
we-
respect, we don't come here to fight. We come to, if we get together in one team, I tell you what, you can make this party
If
bigger.
we don't negotiate and show them that we're not going to take whatever they're trying to offer us because they think that we should just say, okay, no.
Yes.
To me, it's like, we need to fight back and bring what's best for the city and the amount that the city should get. Because if they can go anywhere, then they would have done it. But they're not. You know why? Because we're in a prime location around other cities that do not have a cannabis. Everybody comes here.
Like
They
I
go
said-
to Fresno. When they first opened the ones in Fresno, they went over there. Everybody started going over there to check it out. And guess where they ended up coming back?
Because they know.
Because you're not going to have somebody from,
But I'm
say,
gonna give you
Dinuba, go all the way to Fresno.
to include the city council, make this thing like public. The only thing that I kind of like concern is those people that don't want to be present because
They know.
screaming like no. Let the people. Let's be respectful. Let's see what they share with us, and don't scream at them. That's why they don't want to be here. They want to be in closed doors because they
And
don't want us.
they've been here before.
Yeah.
They
Well,
just,
like I said,
but
it's
see
my
that
first
the
time.
thing is that when they've been here before, and there was people that were against them at that time too. They were here not for negotiating. And I think what they didn't want to hear is that everybody that didn't appreciate them being here and also the amounts that they're getting, because no one wants to be present when they know they're getting 30 million and they're only giving us 400,000 or 300,000.
That's what I see right here.
Yeah. So that's why I wouldn't want to be here either if it was something like that, because then people are going to be like, you're making all that money and you don't want to give the town what they deserve.
Like I said, I have something else that concern me, but I'm gonna talk to the public director right there, public works director.
He's the engineer.
Oh, well,
Oh, I didn't know.
well,
Yeah.
it's because behind my house is Mendocino, and I got trees, like pine trees. They're like
Oh.
really, really bad. There's branches fall
That
all the
was
time.
something that you were working on as well, right? That's Mendocino with the pine trees over there.
Yeah,
That they pulled out several of them.
Yeah, we pulled out a lot already.
Yeah.
The ones that were there.
Weather, like, I mean, every day I
So-
see branches fall like 5 feet tall. I have to cut it.
So can you set up a meeting with? I think you're here on Tuesdays, right?
Yeah.
So you want to set up a meeting so that way you can go over that. with
Mr.
them?
Trujillo, I have shared that concern with Sonia, and I sent her a video. I worked on it. I tried to work on it, but maybe now we can get it done.
Yes.
And the other thing, going back to the cannabis, this is for the people here and the people on live stream. In 2017, this happened, Greenbrier, okay? They were supposed to have a cultivation. They were supposed to have to decrease the order, cameras, a fence, a wall. But guess what? They didn't do it. And nobody complained. And the question here to Neil is who negotiated that contract in 2017 and how much percentage did they negotiate for?
Explain that one.
Thank
Sonia.
you.
Not me.
Yeah, no. They came to Sonia, and at that time, Sonia wanted to give it a chance when she brought it to us about getting that.
Council approved it last time.
But Sonia, you presented it.
Council approved it.
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
It's based
my
on your
question-
recommendations. So now all of a sudden you don't
Sonia,
recommend.
I'm still not done. Sonia, my question is, were you the one that
Yes.
said 2%, we're good with that? I mean, you guys were so high and
Wasn't
happy
here
with
at
it. I don't know, something happened along the line that they don't like I don't know what
So then
happened with
you're okay
Greenbrier.
with them going indoors then, right, Sonia?
I'm okay with them going in.
Only indoors. Because I know you've been trying to get them to stay outdoors. So you're okay with them. Say it on the record that you're okay with them going indoors.
Indoors won't work because.
Okay, now you don't want indoors. So therefore, again, it was indoors before. She put that recommendation to the council to give it a shot to see how it worked. Now you're saying that you didn't do that. So you still want it outdoors.
Elma, you know that they worked with you on it. You know that.
You know
So
that it
don't
was
sit-
you that presented it to us. So then why are you saying that it's not going to work?
I don't want
Why
the
are you saying
community
it's not
be
gonna work,
confused
Sonia?
and
so
upset.
let's put it on the record that it stays on indoors only. On the record, indoors only.
Again, that was a contract
only.
in 2017,
So
but
you're
somebody
okay with
let
the-
it go. So when they let it
Say
go,
it on the record.
the council didn't know. I don't know. We didn't know nothing,
That's why
and then
I-
it became an issue.
I was
And
kind of concerned
we
to step in and talk because,
So,
like I said, first time.
so
in 30
Sonia,
years,
say it on the record that it's
yes,
indoors.
Like I said,
I'll say on the record that you're the one that worked with them.
You don't want to say it. Of course.
Okay, hold on. Can
You
we
don't-
have order?
You know
That's
Neil.
not why you want to do
want
it.
to
Neil,
sit here and blame
Sonia,
me. You know you are.
Please, Sonia, say what you just said right now. Who was the one that made that deal?
So again,
You want me to?
Well,
say
yeah,
that?
everybody was talking
Of course you're
over
gonna
it.
say me.
Who?
Elma.
Okay,
and the-
see,
and the
people?
Previous council.
We need for you guys to know everything.
So
That's
on
all
the
we're
record,
doing.
Dorothy, it will no longer go outdoors because it will be staying indoors. Now that she's saying that, so let's see if you try to negotiate that one again. Because I know you just said right now that it wouldn't work indoor.
oh, to
That's gonna
Exactly.
stay. It's gonna stay indoor.
Exactly.
And that's what they want.
It was supposed
They
to
want
be
to do
like
the
that in
outdoor
2017.
because they
but
didn't want to
some-
pay for the building.
You're okay. You know, and that. Okay, so okay.
Yeah, I was gonna buy a coffee if I pass over 1 minute and 30 seconds, but I guess you just gotta let me finish. Well, I'm finished, but please, I don't want to see this drama.
Nobody
I
does.
came here.
Nobody does.
Respect. Respect.
Nobody
There's respect
does.
for both sides. That's it. That's it.
Mr. Trujillo. Yeah.
That's why we're here. Tell
A
her.
higher percentage and
Margaret,
indoor
now you
only.
know. Now you know the cultivation, Margaret, of 2017. You know. So now you know. Sonia said it.
We're not gonna let this department close. I'll be honest. I'm the first one to step in.
And so am I.
Because I don't care who say no. We don't want the cops here. I don't.
We need
Exactly.
That's why we have to negotiate here.
And this thing is not gonna
Okay,
stay closed.
we need to move on. As I think there was another. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm so thankful that got clarified.
We have to have you step up to the podium, ma'am, if you want to speak.
So, Dorothy, can you put on the record that it's only going to be indoor for the cannabis?
I just want to
No conditional permits will be allowed.
I just want to make a
Because staff signs those.
suggestion. I know you guys went to Las Vegas, and I know these people don't understand how bad it is. Because I went to Las Vegas for economic growth for the city of Parlier, and we had a lot to do with putting cement from Manning all the way to all the way to Academy. Those conversations took place at the state level and federal level before they were all. And Sonia knows about that. She was there at that meeting with state and federal representatives at United Health Centers. But what I'm gonna try to tell the council, the biggest asset this city has is you 5 people up there. Nobody from Dallas or Fort Worth is gonna represent the city better. And Las Vegas is one of the hardest places to try to get economic growth or bring companies, because it looks like ants. The way I did it, I pushed some guy that was Jewish. You're not gonna do that to me. In order for me to get in, all right? That's how bad it is. I mean, you couldn't imagine the escalator's full. 4 people at a time. I mean, they're full. They're like ants going into an anthole. But that's the way I felt. And Laura went and Miss Padilla went with me, okay? Yolanda Padilla. But what I'm trying to suggest here, the best spot for Parlier, for economic growth, is San Diego. Monterey is small. I'm telling you, I'm suggesting because Lowe's wanted to come to Parlier when I was here last, 2016. They opened a door for me, and I think I told the mayor one time, it's up to you guys. I never got back into it. Cap and trade money was on the table also, $5 million for Parlier. I was working with Ashley Swearington. So it's there. You guys are the ones that got to do the meetings. Believe me, I was working 40 to 50 hours a week. That's not counting meetings here. So you are the biggest asset. When you said you wanted to be a city official, represent us, then that's a job you took on. And meet with congressmen, senators, and where I don't care if they're Republican, we're independent or Democrats. I'm a Democrat, but that doesn't mean you cannot work with Republicans. People have good ideas out there. And you got to go out and sell the city, each one of you, and tell them bring the services to the rural areas, because Fresno counties will not listen to you. County supervisors will not listen to you. It's a drop in the bucket what they give you. It's going to I even went to the meetings at the supervisors. So that I'm just telling you what needs to be done. He wants businesses, that's what it's gonna take. Going out and getting them. They're not gonna come here. That's all. And good night, people. That's my bad time.
Thank you.
Thank you again, Mr. Montano. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Johnny.
We need you back.
Hi, good evening. My name is Ruby Kilantan, and I just wanted to address that I was here. I was present for the very first meeting they had for Greenbrier.
Greenbrier.
Greenbrier. Whatever it's called. Okay, so and the agreement was because I was one of the committee members that was against the company being here in Parlier, for the reason being that of the smell. And there's people like me also that I smell marijuana and I instantly get a migraine. So there was an agreement, and I do remember that they said that it was going to be indoors and there wasn't going to be a problem with the smell. So I live right next to the police department on Cypress and Mendocino. So the company is right down on Mendocino, across the street from Burger King, R&N, and you can smell it. You can smell it when you go to Family Dollar. And I have also just recently, have gone into the cannabis store to purchase like gummies for insomnia and anxiety because of my medical condition. I honestly, you cannot smell it. I thought I was, oh my God, how am I gonna go into the store? I went in totally covered, and I was surprised. You cannot smell the marijuana, like the smell in the store at all, but you can smell it into Family Dollar, and you can smell it to my house. And so I also think that if the agreement was that it was gonna be indoors, you should
Keep it in.
absolutely hold them accountable to that, because that's the reason why I voted on it. Okay, that's the reason why I agreed after they proposed their agreement on whatever they're gonna do there. So I would appreciate if they go by that. And if the company Greenbrier does not want if they don't want to give us the 10%, lottery it off to some other company. And they will give it off. I'm sure another company, with knowing how much, a lot of people go into that store, a lot. I was surprised. I was really surprised when they sold me the gummies that I had bought. There wasn't any more of the ones I was using. So they're like, oh, you could go to another store. So the next store was in Visalia. Yeah. And I was like, I probably was willing to travel all the way over there because it was something that had very low, the lowest, like 1%, like, I don't really know about that, the THC, whatever. Yeah. So, and, but if they're not willing to negotiate that, because if those funds are, that monies are going to be for the police, which I've always voted in for the police. We do need the police. Then you know what? Just get somebody else. Terminate that contract. Yeah, terminate it. And just one other thing for the council, like I haven't been here to all the meetings, but yes, I did. I am kind of like upset that our council is, they're always just bickering. And I think that everybody that needs to talk, take a turn, say what you're going to say, be respectful of each other, and follow order. If anybody needs to talk, come up here and follow the agenda. And also, I would like also to see everybody on the council when you guys, I might not go to a lot of the city functions because I have what I've been going through, but I do see you guys on Facebook, social media. Somebody will post something. So I would like, especially when you guys go represent our small community, for you guys to look professional. And I'm not gonna say any names, but I would like for everybody, if you're representing us, just not because we're a small town, don't go like Offalonga. Go representable. Go professional. No, I'm just talking like straight up, you know what I mean? Like, go professional. If you're a man, go in business attire, the way this man is. Be presentable. Just like the way I have, when I have my jobs, I have to go at 100% professional all the time, okay? I have to be slacks, nice shoes. I can't go in slippers. I can't go like Offalonga, like I woke up from the bed in a chongo or whatever. Exactly. So, I would like everybody to look in business attire and presentable when you're representing us. Okay?
Thank
Please.
you.
And thank you.
I also wanted to add, because I did get a letter from Custom Wood Products, and it's a lengthy letter, so I'll give it to you so you can attach it to also, the agenda, the minutes. One of her concerns is because of the odor as well, and her thing was because she's at the industrial park, and she did come out here to speak on behalf of that when they had Greenbrier here presenting. And then she also was here when the other cannabis company, Element 7, was presenting as well. And her concerns were about the odor. But the other concerns that she brought to our attention, and I believe she told me that she had sent this to Sonia, but Sonia never shared this with us. So this person finally sent it directly to me. And she was saying that there were several violations that she saw that were lawful violations because they were actually purchasing from in front of the property, outside by the door, by the car, which is not acceptable. Then they used spraying, and I did hear about that, where they were spraying over the cannabis. So they ended up calling the ag commissioner because they were spraying and 2 individuals got sprayed. So these are things that we have to make sure that they follow. And we depend on staff to bring this to our attention. And we didn't receive that information until she emailed me directly and told me that she had previously sent it to her. Well, whether she got it or not, or
She never
not gonna
sent it.
say, not, then she's lying now. So whether you're gonna say that or not, I don't know.
Just
All
like
I know is
she
what
never
she said.
was able to show you that she sent it.
Okay, so she's lying.
Well, she never sent it.
So she's lying now. Okay, this is Jennifer Gonzalez from Custom Woods, or what is it?
Either she's lying or you're lying.
No, I think you're lying, ma'am.
What's going on with?
She couldn't make it here today because she had to attend her daughter's her game. So she sent me this email, and I am not gonna lie for no reason. This is what she sent to me, and I would be gladly to print them all out, what she sent me, and then share it. There is no reason for me to lie. So yes, and post it. I'm gonna get the letter she sent me, and this is what she said. So whether it was sent to you or not, I'm going based on what she told me.
Okay.
So this is the things where I'm saying that we need to monitor these guys and making sure that our community is is protected and they don't get sprayed. There was another complaint that where the academy location was also very strong, and several of the people that were lived there were complaining. I did meet with them, with Sonia, and also with one of the Greenbrier owners to discuss that. And their concerns have always been the odor. And this is why I keep saying now, it didn't work. We gave it a shot. Didn't work. Indoor is the only way.
Well, my heart hurts right now because I always saw you and Sonia working together. Right now, I didn't see that. And I don't know what's going on, but I don't like this at all.
Okay, 1 second here. We can clarify that real easy and we don't have to argue at all. Sonia, if they send you that letter, it'd be the original date and time it was emailed to you. Can you please handle that? So okay, hold on. And if not, maybe you can write a letter to her, an email, and tell her or explain to her something so the community could know if she send it to you or not. Okay, we'll just do it that simple.
That's right.
Right?
And next meeting?
Yeah.
From now on, we're gonna be here.
Yes, we want Sonia. We want that letter that is being stated that was sent to you and nothing was done. Okay, find it for us, please. Okay.
And I will make sure that I will inform her that you said that you never received a letter, but that's what she told me, and maybe she needs to
We
be
just
here
need
at
the
the next
original letter,
meeting
that's all.
to clarify that.
We can't call nobody.
I will let her know to be here at the next meeting to clarify it.
Can I say something real fast? The agenda for the study session for the budget next week will be on the agenda.
But it's gonna be Monday already, so.
It'll be tomorrow, right? Tomorrow.
It could be posted for a special meeting. It's 24 hours.
Okay.
So if we post it by tomorrow, it's good for
Can
Monday.
you text me on that, Sonia? Please?
And let me tell you, it
Let's
is.
even do one for Greenbrier, right?
Yeah.
Also do like a work study for Greenbrier, so you guys can see, because we're hearing the same thing you guys are really hearing.
Mm-hmm.
We
I
are.
was here too on the original meeting
Yeah,
that she was here.
but we're hearing, Margaret.
I kinda remember what was going on too, but.
Yeah.
But you know
Margaret,
what?
I'm saying is that we're hearing the same thing you guys are hearing. So to me, it's like, hey, let's bring you guys in. Look at everything that's on the table. Everybody should be able to see it. We're all pay taxes. We're all
But if you guys
citizens.
work together, this is that makes
But
us happy.
no, we want to work together. Oh, yes,
See,
all of us.
Jenny,
But
the
you
mayor's
guys
there because
too.
we voted for the mayor. Maybe not you, but we did.
Well,
That's all
no.
I'm saying. Work
Well,
together,
and it's
please.
okay. Because
No.
you know what? You know what, Margaret? That's okay, because that is your right as a citizen to vote for whoever you want to vote.
That's right.
And to voice your opinion. That's nothing wrong with that.
But you know what, you guys.
Here doesn't mean we have all the answers. That's why we want the community to get involved. Be able to hear you guys. Because we don't have all the answers.
We're barely looking.
Following you guys, we get more idea, more input in how the community wants the city to run. Your input on how the funds are gonna be distributed through our city. That's very important to me. Because if you pay taxes, you have every right to say how your money's gonna be used. Thank you.
The thing I want to say also is we are looking, like I said, into the budget. $11 million have been coming to our city. But now we're looking in there like the pie. This much went there. Okay, did that much exactly go in there? You know, we're doing that as a team. Now we have, yeah, but now we're gonna have answers. You know, that's what we want to give you guys answer. Yeah.
So, can you go explain how each fund is different? It's maybe a total of 11, but the general fund is only 5.
General fund is only 5.
Yeah. So, go ahead.
I think so.
Is somebody at the podium?
Go ahead.
Hi, my name's Jennifer. I live on 8482 Foothill. Sorry for my voice. really nervous. I'm confused. Are you guys trying to renew renew the contract, or you guys don't want the contract anymore?
It's not a question of whether or not they want the contract. There's a provision in the contract that allows us to renegotiate just the percentage of gross receipts that we take.
Okay, because I've been volunteering since I was 16, and I've worked like really closely with, Sonia, Alma, Eva, with the events. And if my memory serves me correct, Greenbrier donates to Parlor for certain events too, like the bikes and stuff. Like I know they donated, I can't say the amount of money, for the toy drive, and I did that with Eva. They're really important because, Parlor is one of the highest cities with poverty in it, and I think we had at least 200 plus parents sign up, and I know some people were like double signing up for kids. So
That's going to happen at pennies, what they're making. That's part of the contract.
Yeah.
they have to, right? Okay, I was just confused about it. Just a lot of debating. I just got lost.
In 2 weeks, be here.
They do. They donate for a lot of things. Not just for the Christmas, but anything we ask for, they donate.
Yeah, because I also remember when you guys give out like backpacks and stuff. Easter.
Any event.
Yeah, because I know from when I worked with Sonia, she's very open about everything. She makes like a lot of phone calls. I've stayed with her pretty late. She stayed here since one time she stayed here like 3 a.m. doing like stuff for Parlier. So I just want to like vouch for her that she's actually a really, really good person.
Oh, I love Sonia.
She took a huge opportunity on me as a high schooler, and I've been here for 3 to 4 years, like I said. I just don't like how people are talking to her, since she's like a really good person, and she's very, very unbiased, and she's very open and communicative, and she's a really nice person. She has the interest of Parlier in her heart. Like, I couldn't just sit there as like someone who sees her as a second mom, and I volunteer with her all the time. She's like asked me for like to come in and stuff, because a lot of people don't show up to help, and I'm always like the first person her ever call to come help. My time's up. So.
Thank you so much too. Thank you. Appreciate it.
I want to make a motion to put the rest of our discussion to closed session due to the potential litigation on this item. Neil, can we go ahead and can you confirm that?
I would confirm that the item is properly discussed in closed session and as a potential litigation item. And you can accomplish that by a motion to simply move the item that we have as item number 2 on our agenda into the closed session.
I would like to motion to move, I believe it's item number 4.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Into
I
closed
second.
session.
I second. Is there a roll call?
Yeah, let's do roll call.
Yes. There it is, yes. No,
Yes.
it's solely to discuss. It's not to approve that. No. And just to let you know,
Yes.
Yes.
okay, it's just to discuss, and if any decision is made, it always gets reported out. So you'll know if they decided to go with that. But as far as I'm concerned, it's just to discuss this. Yeah. So there shouldn't be no decision made.
Okay. Next item is adopt the resolution number 2023-11 authorizing city manager to approve the list of qualified design build entities from the statement of qualifications collected March 9th, 2023, and then invite the qualified design build entities to submit a design build proposal. This is for the downtown facade improvement program. So we did go out to bid for the statement of qualifications for the design build architect and builders. And so we received one. So we are going to, are recommending that we go with them so we can move forward on the project with the downtown facade.
Are you gonna reveal? Well, I think it's on the agenda as well. Is it Lionsgate?
Yes.
Construction.
Lionsgate Construction.
Thank.
You guys have any questions on that? I think, were you gonna go over that or anything?
No, it's just, this is the first, it's for design build projects, you have to first get the list of qualified people. I was hoping to get 3, so I can get 3 bids for each building, but that's all we got, and I can't keep delaying it. And I called people, said, please apply it, but
Yeah.
I guess the nature of how big the project is kind of scares a lot of people away. And people are busy, maybe, I don't know.
Any questions from the public? Okay, go ahead.
Hello again. My name is Raul. Do you know how much you're looking at already for the facade?
For the first phase, it's a little over $1 million.
And I remember I was at another meeting previous, and subject came up about basketball courts inside the rec center. Was that ever done?
No,
Talking about 25,000 at that time.
because
And-
they're gonna have the sports complex that we're working on Academy. They're-
Yeah, but I'm thinking about kids during the summer having something to do.
Mhm.
I mean, you're already talking about $1 million.
We also have the Civic Center. In the Civic Center, there's basketball courts in there that you can use.
I thought there wasn't any, that there was going to be too
Right
much.
now, currently, you can go inside the Civic Center and use that on Tulare Street.
Not here.
No.
Okay. Any other questions? Go ahead.
My question regular is on that, you got only one company that has applied basically?
Yeah, so we advertised for 30 days in the newspaper and in the Builders Exchange, and only one person submitted on our deadline after 30 days.
Can we wait at least another 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and see if you can get better responses, so you can go with the lowest bidder?
That's up to the council.
That would be something that I would like to recommend.
I'm sorry, what was that?
My usual question when this comes to contracts, the lowest proposal, but in this case, you cannot get one because there's only one contractor. So I'm recommending to wait at least 2 more weeks or send another notice. that
How
the
long
one
has this
contractor-
been out there? And if you're not gonna get anyone to go for that actual project, they're not gonna go for it because of is it complex? Is it really like?
Yeah, so downtown, there's some structural elements, there's some facade elements, it's not a straightforward paint job, so I imagine people get nervous bidding on it.
And some of those companies won't want to deal with something that's gonna take a lot of
And dealing with a lot of different business owners.
and a lot of structural, repairs and then it might cost them.
I understand, that's my concern. I don't know if this company is qualified to
Well-
remove asbestos or lead.
No, the asbestos is not them. I think that got done already. So they just do the construction. They don't do asbestos. I believe, can you go over that again with asbestos?
Based on what he's talking about, there's gonna be some asbestos work that it needs to be done prior?
No.
That's my question. So it's not gonna be asbestos? at
No,
all?
we had a company come out and test for asbestos and lead. And
That's all I wanna know,
Yeah.
because the kids pass through there every day.
Yeah.
And the asbestos is really bad, so that
Yeah.
was my question.
Well, they tested it and it came out negative, so that's fine.
Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else?
One more thing for me. I had an incident with the police department with one of the cops on Sunday, and it's probably off the topic, but I mean, you guys are open. It's open floor, right? Two.
We're supposed.
It's not open floor for
Not that
to discuss.
It
Just-
was.
I just want to say
it was
good.
earlier, but we can set
Okay.
that meeting. I think.
No, we have a meeting set up already, but I just want to say if later on, we'll be able to elaborate on the, what I had mentioned
Okay.
about the police.
You want to talk about that later
Yeah,
on?
which
Okay.
I would just go, for the meeting, is it okay if other people come with me or?
Oh yes, yes,
Okay.
yes.
That's okay.
Okay. Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, so then do we have a motion to approve? Motion by Sabrina. Do you have a second?
Second.
Diego. All those in favor? Motion carries 5 yes. Next item.
The next item is going out to bid for water and wastewater contractor. I believe this is an item that you asked to be put on the agenda, Mayor.
Yeah, because in the past, we've been dealing with the same services for the Cal Water, and we've met with them in the past several times to bring their costs down, and they did, and it doubled again. So I don't know if what I had Allie kind of look into what's the cause of the increase, because it doubled. And I understand that sometimes it's, with inflation, things are going up. But maybe we should look for just to find out if there's anybody else there that can, provide these same services for a lower cost. But if we go and pay about almost 200,000 for them, and then pay the person that was supposed to be responsible for that both jobs over 100,000, then we're going to end up at 300,000 again. So I think if we can see what if there's other companies, other businesses that can actually monitor that and give us a better deal, because they've been there for a long time and we've been monitoring them on their billing since I can remember. I think in 2018 we brought it back again and talked about it. So they did cut down on their costs, but they're going back up again. So I think it would be good to just explore other options and see what we can get a better deal with another company, just to see. And they could still bid for it, and if they still come down at the lowest bidder, then they get the contract. But we need to kind of work on trying to reduce the cost. So I don't know if you guys agree.
Like you said, to go out and view the options that are out there, and if they go to bid on it and it's cheaper, if somebody's else is lower.
Or even if they're willing to go lower, then they can get the contract again, but we cannot let them just keep billing us.
We can work, go over the contract with.
I think we should just still go out to bid, because we've done that before and they creep it up again. And it's like, might as well go out to bid and give the options for other people out there. That's what we need to do, because they have been working on this contract several times, and we renegotiate again, and then all of a sudden it's back up again. So to me, I don't have a problem with the people that are there. I think they're great people. It's not the employees that are there that are making, that are billing us this way. It's actually the company. And that's why I think that we need to just find another option, just so we can keep our costs low. Just because we have revenue in that funds in that fund doesn't mean that we just go ahead and just give them what they want. So I think that if we just go and go out to bid and see what our options are, then that's what we should try, at least.
What's the background, since there's no backup to it? What's the background of the water and wastewater contractor? What are their duties?
Javier, can you? I asked. I thought that. Yeah, I thought he was
I'm not
here.
too familiar with them. I just was there for a little bit. I saw a little bit of their bills, but I think the Bosque works with them, every day. He'd be the
Well,
best.
their bills were 6,000 a month, and it went to 13,000. That's why I'm like,
The bill that was 13,000.
it's not just one. I've asked for several, and it's doubled. That's why I'm like, okay, then we need to go out to bid to find out other options. To me, it's not about, okay, they've been with if they're willing to, again, go back down to 6,000, but I don't see why we should keep doing this and have to monitor all the time. And then if they go over, okay, bring it back again and have them discuss this agreement again. If we have other option, let's go with another option.
Can you,
I
Sonia,
think we
bring
should-
us, can you bring us what you were just gonna say?
In the
Can
bidding
you bring it to us
process,
so we can see it?
Yeah.
In the
I know
bidding
that
process-
David says that they had subcontracted.
they've done that for years, though. I
They
know.
had subcontracted through Cal Water to do another kind of study or another kind of test, and that's the reason why
It was only once a
higher.
year from when he told me. But I think that,
The reason why it was
and I think
13,000.
instead of trying to hold on to them
Can you
for
please
whatever
fill us
reason,
in on that?
instead of trying to
Thank you.
hold on to them, it sounds like we were trying to hold on to them regardless of what they're charging us. I think we should explore our options, and not just pay them just because it's them. We should just look into that. It's good to go out to bid every 5 years. I've been always told that by previous city managers. You would need to. It's good to explore other options and see if that person's still the best lowest bidder. Then you still stay with that person, but at least try to see if there's other options that are going to be lower.
We really have to look at all the scenarios, and the best one, we'll go for that one, of course, right?
That's going out for an RFP to find out your lowest bidder.
And again, it's not that we're against it, but Ali, is there something that you can bring us, their billing stuff that you can provide for us?
Yeah, I can, and I actually spoke to the person at Cal Waters, the person who's in charge of our wastewater, and he says that sometimes there's quarterly, like the state makes them do things quarterly, annually, and sometimes they go in their system and the state will have something saying, oh, you need to go out and inspect this again. So I asked him to please have the general stuff and then detail all the extra stuff out so that we know what's extra. Because when he puts it all together, we don't have any idea what it is.
And that's what I'm saying is that we're constantly monitoring them. And that's where in the past with the last council, reason why we were renegotiating that was because they were doing this. And we shouldn't just, because it's been them forever, just settle for whatever they're going to send us a bill. And it's good to explore another option. Why not?
Oh, go ahead. Real fast. And here we go again, Margaret. This is really, this is the first time I'm hearing about this. I would really appreciate if we knew what we're talking about before we get here. Because you're hearing the same thing I'm hearing. Same thing I'm pretty sure Diego and the rest of us are hearing. So communication is so important. And that's what I'm saying. It's hard for us when, like you say, we need to work together. I'm with you. We need to
You
work
cannot
together.
have these discussions more than, because and then you do violate the Brown Act. And let me just say, if this would be the first time being presented to me right now, I wouldn't see a problem. Because all you're doing is going out to bid to see what your options are. Doesn't mean that it's set in stone that you're terminating the contract. You're going out to bid to see what other companies are going to offer you a better deal. Why not? It's like if you would go and get something for your home, you're just going to go with the person that first tells you this is what it's going to be, and you're not going to try to go and find yourself a better deal?
Yeah, but I want to say that, usually on the agendas, when they present it to us, there's always backup. So, like, if there was backup that they're overbilling us, then obviously,
I'm not staff.
Yep.
I'm not staff, so
But
I can't
again,
give no backup.
Well, that's why we're saying, it would be nice if it was on there. We're just making the explanation.
Yeah, and the thing is, like Dave said, there's no backup, so it's hard for us to say, well.
So I understand that you.
Problem if that's gonna be what's gonna be best for the community. Yeah.
No,
let's
it's
go
not
out
what
and bid.
it's what's best for the city to cost savings.
Finish.
It's not what's best for the city. It's what's best for the community. It's what's best for the city to save money.
But they
That's
are
what
the
I'm saying.
community.
But it doesn't affect them. It's affecting, okay, then you're not understanding the finances. They're not understanding the finances. Go ahead.
I just have Janie, not to call you out specifically, but just like I was saying earlier, I received this information 72 hours prior to this specific meeting. I was able to research and ask more questions. Who do I need to contact in order to get this information, to review it more? So I had sufficient time to get the contract, to look and do additional research. So I'm just saying that the information, just because you get an agenda, doesn't mean that you don't have sufficient time or enough time to ask more questions, because I was able to do this in 72 hours.
Did you have a heads up of what it was gonna be about?
It was the agenda.
It's on the agenda.
All I received was the agenda 72 hours, just like you guys all get 72 hours prior to this specific meeting. In regards to that, after that, I got the agenda 72 hours prior, and then that's when I reviewed the agenda and said, oh, this item, oh, this item, oh, this item. Okay, I don't know what this item is, but this is really impactful. So at that point, with the 3% being impactful to me and a priority to me for our community, I went and started doing my own research. Then once I did my own research, I went and contacted the city and said, okay, well, I did my research. Is this public record? How can I get this information? So I'm just saying that you can get, just because you're only getting the agenda doesn't mean that you can't ask more questions in order to get your own information to do your research. That's all I'm saying.
Thank you.
Can I say something? And like I've always said to you guys, please email me. I will always respond to your emails, but I need an email, so.
Okay, going back to the young lady. Okay, to start with, I think this falls to the person who puts the packets together. I don't know who that is, and I'm telling you because I've been on boards. I was the one who put the agendas together. Whoever puts your agendas together, that's their job, to have the backup. It's not the part of the council. Like when I worked for the retirement department, it wasn't the council who went and got the backup. Whoever puts your packets together, whoever submits them, emails them, or sends them to the council, should have all the backup to it. Because, I mean, you guys have to be informed.
And
So
I
think
I take the time to research too.
I
So
understand
to me, if they give me, there's been times, many times,
No,
and
I
not just on
understand that,
this
Alma.
council, but also in the Fresno COG, you don't get everything. That's when you ask the questions right there at the meeting.
But on council meetings
but this is not even, okay, this is not even a contract.
There's no
This is
contract.
just a
This-
recommendation to go
discussion.
out to bid.
But isn't there always supposed to be backup? I mean, I'm telling
This
you.
is just to go,
I'm telling you in my experience of almost 10 years of doing something like this.
well, there's times that you don't,
I put the agendas together, and I don't put anything on the agenda unless I'm approved by the mayor or the city manager, or the attorney will send me something. What goes on the agenda is what is given to me. I don't make up staff reports or reports for anybody. They give them to me the way they want it to go on. I don't change it for them because that's everybody.
What I'm saying is,
And this is-
like I used to, like,
This
I'll give you
item-
an example. Like,
Item Aurora came, the mayor gave it to me. She's asked me to put it on, and there was no backup.
Nope.
So this was an item the mayor gave me. This is why.
It's for discussion, because it's not that complicated,
no, I
okay?
understand.
What it
Can I
is,
just finish real quick? 'Cause I hate
okay.
being up here. This is an example. I had a member in the council ask me about a budget item. Okay, I want this on the agenda. Okay, they said I have questions. I asked them, what questions do you have? That was part of my job. Okay, then I went and got the backup. They said, okay, how much did we pay? Whatever, like you did, which is that's your prerogative to ask. But you have to give the council
something
all
to
knew.
look at. No, but it's not that they knew, Alma. And
Yes, I
that's-
talked to them. If you're trying to say that I don't
and
create
this is-
backup.
and you know what? This is to also
I
help
don't
you.
create backup. This is just a discussion.
No, I understand that.
And
but
it's
what I'm
not
saying-
a contract for you to have to see backup to approve. It's just to find out what our options are. Why is that so complicated? It's not that complicated.
prevent a lot of arguments. This is
Because
just a suggest-
the argument is because they don't know about it. And the argument is, for me in my defense, is that they should have asked about it.
But
They
don't you
could have
think this will
called,
protect
they
you?
could have called and asked staff, what is that pertaining to? I have done that. And then staff says, well, the mayor or whoever asked for this item to be there. It's pertaining X, Y, and Z. So if that's because I'm not gonna go and create documents for them. It's up to them if they want to ask that question. That's our job. So, and it shouldn't even be that complicated.
It would be nice, the
discussion.
situation would be better. You know, we're council members, we're doing things, we're, whatever it is. It would be nice to have the backup. So like that, if anything comes up, you have questions, we have answers. But when we get a paper like this,
So then that's a denial for this?
we want to
no,
be transparent.
I-
We want to be transparent.
That's sorry, Kathy.
Okay.
That's why I asked what was the background of this contractor. And I think we were banking on the Bosque to be here to explain a little bit more. But again, this is just a recommendation to go out and see are there any other
Thank you.
contractors or even around who are going to want to put in a bid, or maybe this guy's the only one. I don't know. Are there other
options.
ones? I mean, are there other ones in the Central Valley that would come? Yeah, and I don't know how many, but let's put it out there and see what we get. And it's not.
It's
It's
just
just to
an option.
recommend staff to do that. So
Right. And it's not, it's just to see what our options are. That's why I understand how it's become difficult.
We do an informal.
And again, that was just an example that she
informal
was
rather
showing
than
you,
going
Margaret,
out
you
to
know?
a formal
It was
bid.
nothing to
Do that.
start
There's no
argument.
problem with that.
It
We
was
just wanna see
something
the
to show you.
options.
That's it.
How about informal
And we're not
we'll
against
call 'em
it. We're going to vote 5-0.
Yeah. Yeah.
So are we voting?
Yes.
We do that?
Yeah, the informal. She wants us to,
I'll look into it
Dorothy.
because we need time.
it's an informal bid, just to see our options, and then if it's better, then.
I'll bring it to the council.
And Javier, can you get that going for us? The bid, the informal bid? Okay, thank you. Okay, so do I have a motion to? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 5 yes. Sorry. Shouldn't be that bad. That's it. Public comments for closed session.
You just had the one item on public employment, all positions, and then you have the added item number 4 from our open session.
Oh, yeah, you did. You did.
All right, thank you. Anybody want to approach the podium for public comments for closed session item? Nope. Okay, then we will call you when we're ready. Thank you.
I guess I missed my part. Oh, what was that? About the water, the.
Okay, Neil, can you report out?
There is no reportable action.
Oh, that, yeah, we voted on it.
We made no deal.
So that's what's gonna be,
This is a contract, okay? If you make a deal, you would report that out. If you're in limbo, as you are,
Okay.
that's not something you report out.
On? It was on. When that turns on, it's on, guys. Everything.
So there you go.
okay, meeting adjourned. Thank you.